Welcome back to our MLB 30 for 30 videos. I'm Justin St. Peter.
And I'm Michael Hoeflinger.
The biggest news for the New York Mets last year was that Matt Harvey, their phenom, all-star pitcher, finally made it to the MLB. He started the all-star game for them at their home stadium. Great story. And then in August, he tore an elbow ligament, requiring Tommy John surgery. He put it off for a couple weeks, but finally had it, and he'll miss almost all of this year, if not all of it.
Yep, unfortunate luck for a phenomenal pitcher, definitely the face of the Mets franchise up in coming years, and just bad luck, and it happens to a lot of pitchers nowadays that they need this Tommy John surgery. Hopefully he comes back strong and really regains himself.
Regains himself. You were talking about how he's in top discussion for one of the top pitchers in the NL.
Yes, he's an ace on almost any team he plays for, and really you're going to expect great stuff out of him every time he touches the mound. You've got a chance to win every time.
When he comes back, he'll have a brand new battery mate. They matched last year before the season. The Mets traded their former ace, R.A. Dickey, the knuckleball legend, to the Blue Jays for a young catching prospect, Travis d'Arnaud, who's supposed to be a very good young player. Any thoughts?
I haven't really seen much about him, but if he's got potential, I mean, they definitely need a catcher at some point that's going to be there long term, and they got to put faith in him. And I mean, they traded R.A. Dickey, who was a phenomenal pitcher that year, with them, and looks like they may have gotten the better end of that deal too.
I agree with that. R.A. Dickey's got to try throwing his knuckleball in the AL East while the Mets try to rebuild in the NL.
Mm-hmm.
To go along with, Travis d'Arnaud could be the face of their franchise in a few years, as could Juan Lagares, another top prospect. This guy's in the outfield, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, outfield just needs depth. I mean, they've two new outfielders with them with the signing of him and Granderson. Granderson definitely has proven himself as a AL defender and playing for the Yankees. Now he's going to go over to the other side of the town and play for the Mets.
Yeah, he stays in New York. Curtis Granderson, he's really been helped by the short porch in New York. He's gotten a lot of home runs over the last few years. Expect those numbers to go down as he moves to probably the biggest pitcher-friendly park in baseball for the Mets.
Yep, Citi Field moved their fences in last year because they were complaining about the lack of home run power there. I've actually been to Citi Field and back when they had the fences back, and it is a deep outfield. It was kind of seeing the home run derby that was there last year. I mean, you really had to get a hold of one to hit it.
Yeah, to go along with it, they got a brand new center fielder in Chris Young, former Diamondback and Athletic. He is a very, very good defender who struggles staying healthy, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. He's got a lot of speed, and if he gets on base, he's a good player. Very good defensive player as well. He's going to rob some plays, and all-around solid offensive and defensive player for him. Good signing.
Yep. They lost Jose Reyes last year. He was their leader, their face, top base stealer. They replaced him with Ruben Tejada.
Yeah, Ruben Tejada's had that position a couple of years now since Jose has been gone a couple of years from them, Marlins and the Blue Jays. But, yeah, he's a decent defender. I don't think his bat's all that good, though.
Yeah, they kept David Wright, who it really has been, ever since he came to the Mets, he's been a all-star, a highlight reel player, just all-around good player.
Yep, fans love David Wright. He's their fan favorite. They love rooting for this guy and the success story he's had. Great player at third base, really good defender too, and bat is solid as well.
Yeah, he is definitely in discussion for All-Star game every year.
Mm-hmm.
Up the middle, they have Daniel Murphy, second baseman, who really came on last year, but All-Star, maybe?
Possibly. I mean, it depends on how the other second basemen do. I mean, you got Brandon Phillips and Neil Walker, two great second basemen as well. I mean, second base in the National League isn't that deep, but Daniel Murphy's not top line, but he's definitely up and coming. He's got good potential. He had a breakout year last year. Hopefully he can continue that and give this team much needed hitting that they're going to have at the top of the lineup.
And then Ike Davis. They brought him down to the minors last year to try to fix his swing because he was batting below 200. He kind of came out a little bit towards the end, and then he's been involved in almost every trade discussion in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, Brewers were thinking about acquiring Ike Davis for Ryan Braun. It turned out to be all false, but, I mean, rumors of that. And then just he's not that typical power hitter first baseman. I mean, he doesn't have a good average or anything, so I'd kind of like to see him stay in New York.
Don't like New York that much?
No, I don't think many teams want him, and you're not going to get them. If they are going to take him, you're not going to have to give up much for him. I don't think he's that premier of a first baseman.
I would agree with you there. He has a power bat, but that's if he actually gets on base, which he really struggles with.
Yeah, fans had their "I like Ike" chant back when he came up, but I mean, it was just a couple glorious months, and it's all been downhill since that for this guy.
Yep, the Mets went out. They lost Johan Santana. A lot of injury-riddled years, but they got their no-hitter with him. The first time in Mets franchise history. They went out and signed Bartolo Colon.
Yep, Bartolo Colon is a good pitcher. He had that steroid allegations last couple of years ago with the Mitchell report, but I mean, he's going to be a solid inning thrower. I mean, they need pitchers, and he's their ace, and he's not a bad ace, but they desperately need pitchers on this team. He's by far their best one.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon, he's really come back. He throws almost 85% fastballs, which is unheard of in the major leagues. Either last year or 2 seasons ago, he had a streak where he threw 39 straight strikes, every single one of them fastballs. Somehow he makes it work. He's a very good pitcher. Behind them, they have a lot of unproven young pitchers. Some could break out, some could fall back. It's kind of question marks.
Yeah, they got a nice pitcher-friendly ballpark to pitch in, but these guys haven't really made a name for themselves yet. A couple of them probably will break out and have some years. It's a good year that will show, and then I think a couple of them may just falter and really just kind of show that they're not ready for the majors yet.
Zach Wheeler is supposed to be a good prospect for them. Dylan G had a decent year last year, and Jonathan Neese has been just a solid contributor for the past few years. Mm-hmm. So the Mets, they went out and signed a couple people. I'm not sure if these are non-roster invitees, but John Lannon, Dice K, maybe a return of the ephus, or what did he throw?
The gyro ball.
The gyro ball, yep.
Yes, looks like spring training might be an interesting time for them because they look like they're going to try these guys out in the spring training time and see and build a roster. I imagine that their pitching rotation may have 1 to 2 spots open for full-out competition. I don't think there may only be a couple locks in at the top.
I'd agree with that. Their bullpen, but Bobby Purnell is a decent pitcher for them. He's an okay closer, not like a top of the line, but he's solid. He'll do a decent job. The rest of their bullpen, you made a face, yeah.
This is not going to be a good bullpen this year. I'm sorry. I think these guys are going to blow a lot of leads, and fans rip on the New York Mets all the time. And if you're living in the New York area, they definitely like the Yankees more than the Mets, and I think this bullpen is going to be the reason why. Nothing is more agonizing than a bullpen blowing a lead and losing the game because of it. And sorry, Mets fans, but I think you're going to see that a lot this year. There's just not a name that stands out to me that's really going to throw 3 straight outs and get out of it without anyone getting on base. Their teams are going to put pressure on this bullpen, and I don't think anyone's really going to be that standout.
I completely agree. The only guy I actually recognize besides Bobby Purnell is Kyle Farnsworth,
yes,
and he's a non-roster invitee with a chance to make this team.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of the names. Jose Valverde, maybe, but I mean, he just stand there and take a walk with him.
Yeah. All-star candidates for this Mets team. David Wright is a complete lock. He's already got the position down. He probably will start the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Curtis Granderson, another guy with a high ceiling. He could make it. And maybe Daniel Murphy. He had that breakout year last year. If he can continue to get better, he could be playing at an All-Star level. But I don't see maybe Bartolo Colon, but his name has been kind of shamed with the steroid that came out a couple of years ago with him. So I don't think the Mets will have any guys throwing in the MLB All-Star game, and just a couple of hitters, I think.
Now that Matt Harvey's gone, once he's back, they'll have some pitchers again, but not anymore.
Yeah, but I think they need to work on developing some pitchers and maybe a couple shakier spots in the defense too.
My bold prediction this year, the Mets, I think they're going to take last place in the NL East. The Marlins have a lot of young potential that are getting more seasoning. The Mets have a couple new guys coming in. They relied on a lot of average to okay veterans to fill in a lot of their spots.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be that good either. I think they're going to have one of the worst bullpens in the league, and that's going to really cause them to struggle. And I really kind of thought that they would be a little better than the Marlins, but after really taking a good deep look at this team, I think the Marlins may be in better shape than the Mets are. So they could be second to last division. I think them and the Marlins competing for bottom and second to last. Certainly no playoffs for this team, though.
Definitely not. Second to last, probably maybe third, maybe right in the middle as their absolute ceiling if everything breaks right.
If they get to third in the division this season, that is a successful season
Yep.
by far. They don't have to make playoffs. Third position in that division they should be thrilled with that. They should throw a parade in New York for that.
Sorry, Mets fans, but you heard it here. The
Yeah.
Mets aren't making the playoffs.
Yeah, the Yankees are going to be that team for New York to root for. The Mets are going to be kind of a laughingstock, I think.
Oh, the Mets fans hate you even more now.
I know. Sorry, Mets fans.
All right. Thanks for watching. This is our MLB 30 for 30 video. Next time we'll be back with
The Toronto Blue Jays.